kill you. Not today, not tomorrow, but I'm gonna kill you.
This is KCFE Ferguson, 89.5 The Wave.
Everything's his, or will be.
And this is Dead Air.
Welcome to a brand new beginning.
You need to cook it, Rich.
For what?
To fight them.
That's right, you're listening to the one, the only Dead Air here on 89.5 The Wave. I'm your host, your friendly neighborhood DJ JazzHandss, here to talk about last Sunday's episode of The Walking Dead, titled Something They Need, which definitely, reflects the episode pretty hardly. Oceanside has something that they need, and, they're going to go take it. So spoiler warnings are abound. We're going to get definitely deep into the discussion of, like I said, last Sunday's Walking Dead. And we are, it's just me today. Just me today, which is totally fine. I love just sitting here talking to you and having just like a blast, kind of just sharing my own personal thoughts of The Walking Dead. So, you know what? Let's just dive right in, because there's a lot to cover within this episode of The Walking Dead. I mean, so much. We figured out that it was Dwight that Rosita ran into, and he wants to kill Negan. I mean, for avid readers of the comics, I don't think that was a surprise. Last week I said I really didn't care what happened to Rosita, so it could either be Dwight or Daryl, and I don't care. But they twisted it enough to where, hey, Dwight's in this jail. He's in this cage. And that was interesting. That was probably the most surprising and shocking part of the episode. That's not saying the episode was bad. I liked bits and pieces of the episode. However, if you have, I don't want to say have a brain, but if you're aware, if you know how stories go, and if you understand certain stuff, you should have been able to pick up kind of what was going to happen in this episode. And that's kind of the only downfall of this episode was, let's be honest, we figured that Oceanside was going to join with the survivors and Rick's group. We figured that was going to happen. They're technically not there yet, but we know that they're going to be warriors that fight within the all-out war arc that's going to eventually be coming more than likely next season. Negan's not done. I don't think he's going anywhere. If he's killed off this season, it would be really surprising. But I digress. Yeah, you knew what was going to happen. You knew that they were going to either work with them or give their guns, or I wasn't ever thought that Rick was going to forcefully take the guns and hurt these people, I should say. Let me just, because they did kind of forcefully take the guns, but I never thought he was going to actually hurt any of these people. So, yeah, some stuff was kind of predictable. And everything with Sasha, I mean, we kind of knew that was going to happen. We knew she was going to get caught. I liked the whole Negan scene with her. Anytime with Negan's fantastic. So, but yeah, with the episode, like, it was structure-wise, I kind of knew what was going to happen, and the most interesting thing was figuring out that Rosita did find Dwight, and that his whole thing is he wants to kill Negan. Now, what I want to know is this true, or is this a game? Dwight knew that Rick and his group weren't going to quit. With Daryl, with Rosita coming after him, I could see him thinking, hey, these guys aren't going to quit. I'm going to try to get behind enemy lines. Or he's really done and he wants to kill Negan. But my only question is, why would he now want to do that? Why is it that, is this like, hey, Rick and his group and Daryl and the group, they're the only ones that are really standing up that I could see have a chance actually winning? Or is it he's just had enough, and so he's just taking his chances, and there's been a leak, I guess, let's say, that Rick and the gang are up to something. I don't know if it's from Eugene, because, let's face it, Eugene wasn't aware that Rick and the gang started wanting to fight again. So there could be a mole within. And I don't think it's Enid. Alright, I'm going to say that right now. I don't think it's Enid who is the spy. Everybody thinks she's the spy for the Wolves, for the Saviors, for possibly even the Whisperers. I don't think she's anything. I think she is just a new crucial character within the series. So I think she's fine. But yeah, somehow I think Negan and his men found out, and Dwight found out, and that's why he went to them. I do believe that his intentions are true. I think he's tired of the lies, tired of having to kill, tired of having to be something that he's not. And I think his wife, or ex-wife I should say, because it's Negan's wife, everything's Negan's, but leaving is the catalyst that is bringing him closer and closer towards the edge. It's interesting, and I'm really excited to see where this goes, you know, and that's where it's like, and I've always said this, Dwight is such an interesting and fun character to where you can look at stuff from both, from two ways that he's playing, and it could be either or. And we got a lot of cool character development from Tara in this episode, and we see, because I don't know why she didn't feel bad about breaking her promise, unless it's, hey, there's the greater good that we're working for. We're trying to get this greater good going, and so, unfortunately, we have to break the promises because good people need to live, and we need to do this. However, I will say it's really hard to, if I was in that situation, to believe, look, we're the good guys. We're not going to hurt you when you're waving a gun. Even though it was unarmed, it's still like, you're not really persuading me any. It's clear that Tara is coming from a place of good. She doesn't want to hurt. They didn't want to hurt anybody. And there were moments in the episode where I was really worried that Rick and the gang were going to go full Negan. They were going to go, okay, everybody get on your knees. We're taking your guns. You move, we kill you. Like, I thought they were going to be like that. But they handled it really nicely, and it's clear that they didn't want it. So it's like, oh, you got what we want. We're not going to hurt you. So I'm sure that what Tara's doing isn't going to come back to bite her in the butt. It might with the grandma, but I really think that Tara is the spokesperson. And honestly, I could see Tara running Oceanside. She has the potential to become a fantastic leader and take on this leadership role. She just needs that moment to bloom. She needs more moments to kind of bloom and come into her own and really take charge. Her character's been going this way, and this is why I love Tara. She was tricked by the governor, and she was a little bit naive, but everything she's done has made up for those moments. You know? Everything, she was the one good thing that came out of the governor attack again. And so I absolutely love her character, and like I said, I relate with it so much, but the episode was a little bit predictable, like I said, but it was still, there were still some fun moments in it. Like, I love the stuff with Gregory. I'm saving Sasha and Negan and everybody for last, okay? Because that was probably some of my other favorite parts. Anything with Negan, you know, I've been waiting for Negan for a while, so it's so good to see him. But the stuff with Gregory and Maggie were actually really, really cool. We get to see a little bit more of the coming to head of Maggie and Gregory. And they've been butting heads since the start of the season, you know, so it's bound to come up to finally explode at some point. You know, the two have been butting heads, and they're eventually gonna have their moment. Whether that's gonna involve Simon, who knows? But I got predictions that I'm gonna save for that. But yeah, it was kind of interesting to see. And we get a lot more. I mean, we figured it. We knew it was going to be like this already, but to hear that Gregory really hasn't killed a walker and how he kind of like he's the medicine man from like the Old West stories. You know, he's like, oh, I've done this. This tonic will cure any illness. We'll give you hair. We'll do this. We'll do that. You know, that's kind of Gregory in a sense. He's very much manipulative to make himself look better and to give him this mission, this sense of power. However, I will say sometimes it does work because he and his group survived for this long. Granted, it might have been under Negan's boot, but I mean, still, you can't fault him for that. And of course, he feels very threatened. I mean, he's always felt threatened by Maggie. And there's that moment where the two of them are talking, and I really thought that he was sincere. He really wanted to talk about it. He really wanted to it's like there's moments with Gregory where he tries to definitely be a decent human being and tries to understand and tries to kind of go back to that humanity side. I mean, granted, he's probably been doing this, all his life, but there's those moments where he's trying to really connect with people, trying to make a difference, and I think if he kept that up, that's something. And you see him kind of doing that with Maggie, but then the greed takes over, and I mean, we knew he wasn't going to stab Maggie. We knew that wasn't going to happen. If it did happen, I would have been very, very shocked. But we knew that wasn't going to really happen. They need, Maggie has a little bit of plot armor. I hate to say that. I love Maggie, though. Anything with Maggie, too. It's fantastic. But there's that little plot armor, so I'm not too worried about her dying anytime soon. But, yeah, there's those genuine moments that Gregory has where you feel that he's going to be a good guy. But then Maggie says something, or Jesus says something, or something happens where it kind of, I don't want to say backs him into a corner, but it makes, it's like he's trying, and then they do something, and he's like, never mind. Like, with the walker, when Maggie's like, he never killed a walker before. This was his first time. He's a little bit scared, and they're like, oh, well, he told us otherwise. That was kind of like challenging him a little bit. Gregory is very, very fickle in a certain way. He's very timid for power. And if anything goes up against that, he gets very worried and doesn't think straight and becomes a jerk. In nice terms for radio. But he becomes a jerk. And so with those kind of aspects to him, you have to tread lightly in order to get Gregory to really do what you want. Or in order for Gregory to come around. And kind of because Maggie said, oh, he didn't do this, the walker, blah, 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 blah. That questioned his authority, and he's like, I can't take it. Nope. Simon, she's questioning me. Simon, I'm going to run to Simon, who I absolutely love, one of my favorite saviors. I'm going to run to him, and I'm going to try to get her kicked out. So that's more than likely going to happen. Now, I could see it going two ways, and I'm going to save those predictions for a little bit later. And I'll definitely try to remember, but I could see it going some certain ways. It was also really cool to see Maggie, because we were speaking about her, to see Maggie, because I hate to admit it, I kind of forgot that she was a farmer after a while. Like, after a while, it's just like, oh, that's Maggie. You gotta love Maggie. She's awesome. She's BA. And I kind of forgot that, yes, she was a farmer. She would understand finding a blueberry bush and being like, hey, look, that can make us live, that's at least 40 years. They can live for like 40 years and be fantastic. So, we have to start thinking about being around that long. Truthfully, and it's really nice to see with Maggie, I'm seeing a lot of Herschel. I'm seeing a lot of Herschel within Maggie. And so to kind of get this new Maggie that unfortunately has lost everything. She's lost everything. But she is still so strong enough to come back and be a fantastic leader towards the hilltop. She gets stuff done. She gets her hands dirty. She teaches people. She's not just doing the work. She's teaching people how to survive. And that's just something that, like, Herschel, it reminds me of Herschel back at the prison. So I love seeing Maggie in this position now. I love seeing her mindset and just this development of these characters. And I've heard in the past some people have argued and talked about that The Walking Dead, some of these characters have become very shoehorn characters of their former selves. Like, Daryl's a one-note character, Rick's now a one-note character, and I disagree completely. Maggie's changed, Carol's changed, Herschel's changed, but not Herschel. Herschel lost a leg. Morgan's changed. We're getting these characters that have evolved and are becoming something different. And their whole aspect, and what I love, and this is going to kind of come back, but Negan said it in this episode to Sasha, hey, this happened, get over it. There's two ways to get over losing somebody in this world. And that's either you ignore it, you push past it, and you just keep doing it, or you take what that person did for you and meant for you, and you evolve as a person. So there's two ways. You either force your way back and force those emotions down and don't change and just ignore it and move on and live life, or you accept that they're gone and you move forward with what those people have taught you. And that's what I see a lot of Maggie especially. I don't think Maggie season 3 or 4 would have the patience she does now, you know, and I really hate to say this, but Glenn's death, character-wise for Maggie, might have been one of the best things to push her into this leadership role. It would have been nice to have Glenn still around, but the way she is now and the way her head is because of Glenn's death. So I'm really loving the character arc that Maggie's going through, and it's beautiful and it's awesome, and I can't help but love Maggie. She's so cool. She's just such a really cool character. And too, I wanted to talk about this too, with the Walkers, and kind of going back to Gregory and his first experience with a Walker. I like this, and I've said this before, where if you watch season 1, the Walkers were definitely a threat. You would see one, and you would flip out, like, it's coming! Oh my gosh, no! Oh, what are we gonna do? And now you see a Walker. It's a little ways away. We got a minute. So what's going on? How you and O-Girl get together? Oh man, that's so cool. Oh, it's a little bit closer. Hold on. Shink. Okay, let's what else is new? So it's like, I love this evolution that for people who have lived up to this point, the Walkers, they're still a danger when there's mass numbers, but when there's 1 or 2, it's okay, kill. And even when Gregory got thrown down to the ground and that Walker was on top of him, Maggie just kind of killed the one Walker, and like she rushed over, but she kind of just strolled over and killed it and was done, you know. So I always like the Walkers, and as much as it's fun to see cool and unique Walkers, and we even see it within the episode when Oceanside teamed up with the Survivors, which I think Eugene officially called them, you know. It was messed up to see one of the Survivors die. I think that's what their group's called now. Like, it's official. They're the Survivors. But it was like moments like that where they team up and the Walkers are kind of surrounding them and they have to team up. And first off, that was a really cool moment. I know I kind of like glossed over a little bit of Tara's and Rosita's part, but like the moment when Oceanside and the Survivors teamed up to fight off the Walkers was beautiful. I loved it. It was just like, I got hyped. It was almost like seeing the Avengers defending New York for the first time. It was kind of like that. It was like this just cool, epic, like they're going in. So that was a fun moment. But we gotta talk about Sasha, Eugene, and Negan. I mean, of course we gotta talk about Big Bad Negan. You know how much, look, if you've been listening to the show for a while, or if you're a fan of the show, or anything, or if you're new to the show, first off, welcome. Second off, I've been waiting for Negan since about like season 4. I remember everybody was talking about this. I wonder how they're going to do this character from the comics. I wonder how they're going to do this character. And I'm like, well, who is this character? You know, I talked to my one friend Kitty who reads the comic books actively when she can, and she was talking. She's like, oh yeah, Negan, he's bad. And then some people here up at school were like, oh yeah, Negan, get ready. So I've always had this like expectation of what Negan is, and then when I finally got to see, you know, I googled it and it was messed up. It actually messed me up. First time a comic book messed me up for a minute, but you know, the famous scene, I read that, and at that moment I was like, okay, Negan's a fun character, and I absolutely love him. And Jeffrey D. Morgan's doing a fantastic job with him in this show. I can't praise it enough, but we got some new, for people who didn't know, you know, some new development from Negan in where he doesn't like rape. He will bash somebody's head in and curse under the sun and be a jerk, you know, keep people captives, you know, he'll keep slaves. But rape's the one moral thing that he's like, nope, we're not doing. And if you do that, you're dead. So that's really interesting. And I hope that we get more of a backstory to why he's like that. And I guess it really, honestly, thinking about it, it kind of goes back to what Kirkman and a lot of the people from Talking Dead have, said, that the Saviors are they're good guys in their own way, in their own sense, I mean, if you look at what the Saviors technically do, granted they do it a lot more ruthlessly, but if you look at what the Saviors do, and kind of what Rick and the gang did tonight with Oceanside, it's kind of almost the same thing. They're kind of like, hey, you got something we want, give it to us, or we're going to hurt you, except the Saviors will hurt. So it's like, at one point, they were good, and Negan might have been good, but he got very skewed. And that's where I really would love, like a miniseries, like AMC, Walking Dead. Please do this, okay? Instead of Fear, for one season or whatever, take some time off and do a backstory to Negan. Do like a mini series that's like Sherlock, like 3 episodes that are like a legit hour long each, and just have the journey of Negan. And I can guarantee that at some point he was just like Rick, and there's one thing that happened that turned him into Negan, that made him Negan. This one bad day. It's almost like Batman, I'm crossing the nerdums, but I gotta do that. So it's almost kind of like Batman. It's, Joker had one bad day. Batman had one bad day. But how they reacted to it, how they grew from it, was dramatically different. And I guarantee you that happened to Negan and Rick. And that's where I want to know. That's what I want to know. So Negan's a fantastic and interesting character. And, of course, he killed, what was his name? Dave? Rapey Dave? I think that's what they called him. Yeah. Loved it straight out of the comic books. And I love how nonchalantly he just, slid the, knife into his neck. He was just like, nope. And it was so cool. I really hope that we see why Negan is the way that he is, whether it's flashbacks or whatever, but I want to know why rape is the one thing that he's like, nope. We got some pretty cool character development too from Sasha. Oh man, for that moment, I really thought she was gonna go psycho. I really thought she was gonna go complete psycho. When she's like, I thought, okay, first off, kudos to the actress. I forget her name because I'm really horrible with names, but kudos to the actress who plays Sasha, because when she was doing the breaking down scene with Eugene, and how she was saying, I don't want him to hurt my friends, or I don't want to be used to hurt my friends. She was doing something with her voice where it was cracking, and I loved it. She did a fantastic job. Absolutely fantastic. It's just the way she was talking that was fantastic, and then it flips and you see she's kind of gone psycho. She's in her own little weird, demented world, and I'm like, okay, Sasha, I was on board with you, but you kind of gone loco. It kind of reflects in with Eugene as well. She knows that she's going to be used to hurt her friends if she stays on this path, which is why she either wants to kill herself or do something. And I don't think that pill was the one thing that she wanted. I think she wanted something else. But I think she's very interesting at this moment. And I don't know what clearly she's planning to kill Negan, and she's trying to get Eugene to kind of help in that fact. Oh, give me a gun, give me this, give me that. And, he gives her the pill. First of all, I feel bad for Eugene because he's doing this, but even then, he said to her, hey, you're my friend, I don't want you to go. And this could actually be a part of why she kind of broke down at the end after he gave her the pill. It's you're already gone, but I don't want you to go. You're my friend, and I know I haven't told you. Thank you enough. I kind of feel that she might have manipulated Eugene a little bit. And that's the one thing with Eugene that, I think she kind of got maybe at the end, where it's she was able to manipulate him, but he did it anyway. And after saying what he did, and saying that, I was never brave. I was never brave. I thought I was, but I'm not. I felt that she manipulated him, and then she felt bad for it because he is still a good person. He's just he doesn't know a way out of this, and his way out is, well, you know what? We're here. Might as well make the best of it. Might as well try and just work with Negan's rules and just find out the best way to live. This is our lives now. This is how we have to survive. You know, the survivors need to evolve and survive, not just with the walkers, but with people. And so I feel that, like, at the end, Sasha was a little bit upset about that. But, yeah, Sasha turned it on Rick, too. You know, I think it's all ploy. I really do. I'm not sure 100% if Eugene anymore is still working up a plan to go up against Negan, or if he's genuinely like, look, we got to do what we got to do. Maybe if I work with Negan close enough, I can kind of get him to change his mind. You know, if I do what Negan wants, maybe and get on his level, maybe I can talk to him and change his mind. So I can see that aspect, but for Sasha, I think when she kind of called out Rick, I think there was two things. One, it was she wanted Negan to definitely know that she was doing this by herself. Rick had nothing to do with it. Rick didn't know, and she's like, oh, that, you know, a-hole Rick. That jerk Rick. You know, I'm being nice for radio, but I think that definitely she's trying to throw the scent off and be like, I did this myself because Rick's weak to me. And so there's that aspect to it, and then there's the whole. I think she wants Negan to trust her, to realize that she's almost as sick, because if she starts playing from the inside as well, and works with it, I could see. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I could see Sasha trying to do, but to get her kind of character development and her arc in this episode where she doesn't want to hurt her friends. I liked it. I liked it, and I'm interested to see where it goes from here. Yeah, predictions for next time. Like I said with Gregory, I think he's definitely going to go to Simon. I think he's going to talk to Simon. I think that could get him killed. I think this next upcoming episode, it's going to get him killed, and that's going to put Maggie in the position of Hilltop leader at this point. And or he's going to go. Gregory's going to go. He's definitely going to get killed. But Simon's going to take his merry band of men out there, and they're not going to come back. For some reason, Maggie's going to be able to hold them off or Hilltop's going to be able to hold them off and kill them. And that, I think, is going to anger Negan very much. And he's going to be like, well, we're not dealing with normal people now, are we? And that's going to gear him up more for all-out war, because as of right now, we got the survivors and Hilltop and the Kingdom and possibly Oceanside. They're going to come in at the end. Let's just be realistic. They're going to come in at some point for all-out war. Maybe not right away, but at some point. Negan has to be at all-out war too. He can't be like, hey, look, we need to save stuff because I want to try to save stuff, and it's just one people. I think by him losing Simon's group, like another group, it's not going to be like, okay, we're sending a message. It's going to be, this group took out one outpost, and then another group that was Simon's group, my right-hand man. Yeah, we need to take care of this problem. So I think both factions have to be in this place for all-out war to work. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to get something where Negan's gonna have to be like, okay, we're going to all-out war. And it's clear that there's something up. Somebody ratted to him where he knows something's going on because he's smart. And so that's going to come into play. So I'm interested to see where this all goes. But I think Gregory could possibly die this upcoming episode. And I think Maggie's going to become a part of Hilltop. I think the trash people are going to become... I forgot the trash people. Yeah, that's another civilization that's on their side too. I think that they're going to get the guns from the trash people, but I think we're also going to get a major character death. Because in the previews, it looks like Kingdom's gearing up for a battle. It looks like they're going to go do a drop-off, and they're going to kill people. I hate to say this, I think it's going to be Carol. I could see it being Carol, and I hate to say that, but she's kind of, I don't want to say faded, but compared to other seasons, she's kind of been pushed to the background a little bit. And that could not be a bad thing, but I really feel Carol's death, because we got to have a major character death. You know what I mean? It has to happen. I feel that we've gone too long without one. So I think I could see Carol possibly biting the dust next episode, and that's really going to drive them to fight harder. I also feel with her death, it could either do one of two things. It could drive Morgan farther into insanity, and he could possibly die how he died in the comics, which is fighting, standing on his feet. He fought too much, and that's how he died in All Out War in the comics. Or he will go back to how he was, because he's angry right now, and their story has been leading up to this certain point in time. And that's where I feel, and that's what I think's kind of going to happen. I think he's going to come back, or he's going to lose himself. And you know what? That's pretty much it for me. So thanks, everybody, so much for tuning in. It's been a blast. And we'll see you next week for the 90-minute Walking Dead finale. So it's been another fun year. I'm loving it. We'll see y'all next.